Raheem Traore should tell us something because we are greatly disturbed. Will he be happy if Ghanaians did the same thing to his people who come here to trade?
Some Ghanaians express anger over the lack of adequate production of tomato in the country and demand urgent action following the deadly attack on traders in Burkina Faso.
We shouldn't be complaining about things like this because our leaders are not helping us. They come to power and share the money among them. Look at what happened to these 8 people. Every government that comes has its own agenda.
Also this afternoon, a chilling account about the arrest of a woman suspected of stealing a baby from the Mamprobi polyclinic in Accra as stunned relatives recount the moments they realized the child had vanished.
The security, the nurses, and those people who were talking behind the scenes, I feel that they are all guilty.
We'll bring you details of how the suspect was picked up by the police and the gender minister's assurance that the situation is under control. In sports,
Hearts of Oak report South African club Siwelele FC to FIFA over unauthorized approach of their player Hamza Issa.
Also, dozens of teachers picket the Ghana Education Service headquarters over 14 months unpaid salaries.
Unless they release my staff ID to me, because I cannot teach without salary, I cannot teach without hunger. Psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially, I'm not stable. So how can I go to class and teach? So what we want now is our staff ID and our salaries. That is what we want.
We will live on the ground, plus tell you about the Ghana Association of University Administrators, a letter to the National Labour Commission on the use of court processes to halt strikes. Minority turns heat on Finance Minister over cocoa price cut as Alexander Appiah threatens to resort to legal means to drag Ato Force and the Finance Minister before Parliament over the price reduction.
The majority leader will not bring the finance minister. We, the minority, will use the appropriate laws available to us to summon the finance minister.
Details as General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Fifi Kwete, insists farmers appreciate the government's offer contrary to the raging sentiment. Details of these stories plus more on the Midday News. Stay with us. My name is Gemma Appiah. The details now. The Chief Justice has dismissed petitions seeking the removal of Ghana's Electoral Commissioner, her deputies and the Special Prosecutor, ruling there is no prima facie case. President Mahama referred 7 EC petitions and 3 OSP petitions to Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, who informed the President on the 26th of January 2026 that no further investigation is warranted. The Presidency confirmed the dismissal in a statement by the spokesperson Phyllis Kwachio-Fosu. Let's get our legal affairs correspondent Kweku Asante on this. Kweku, help us understand the background to this petition.
Well, Gemma, just a few months ago that these petitions were lodged with the President, and like you said, the President forwarded same to the Chief Justice. They bordered on grounds that the petitioners claim to be incompetence and also some of the conduct, particularly when it related to the Electoral Commission. At the time, it was one staff member who was having his own issues. In fact, he had been interdicted by the Commission for a couple of the things, but he had petitioned the President over a wide array of issues, demanding that not into the petition having to do with the Special Prosecutor. It also involved Mr. Kisejabin and claims of incompetence that were made against him. But there's also a political dimension to all of this. The Siedun Ketia in particular, appearing on PM Express and insisting that both the Electoral Commissioner and the deputies must all be removed. We can listen to Johnson Siedun Ketia when he spoke to Evans on PM Express.
So, Kweku, we'll bring that to our listeners shortly, but give us the details of the communication from the Presidency on this.
Morning, the statement published by Felix Kwachio-Fosu, the spokesperson to the President, indicated that the chairperson, the Chief Justice, I should say, Paul Bafo-Boni, had actually written to the President in January, 26th January to be precise, explaining that no prima facie case had been made in all the petitions that related to the EC chairperson and the deputies, as well as the special prosecutor, for which reason no further investigations were warranted, which ultimately meant that no further action could be taken and the petitions had been dismissed. This was all contained in that statement signed by Felix Kwachobusu that was put up just about an hour or two ago.
Kweku, we can now listen to Esiedun Ketia when he made those comments on PM Express.
There is overwhelming evidence that this commission is not fit for purpose. And if any serious country will want to maintain this type of electoral commission, then I don't know what the country is about.
So there will be a change at the EC leadership?
There has to be a change.
Jim Mensah must go?
Yes, I think the three top leadership must all go.
So that will be the chairperson herself and her two deputies.
They must all go. They have mismanaged the commission so badly.
Their positions, though, are positions protected under the Constitution. They're guaranteed tenure.
But the Constitution has given us the path to remove them, and that is what is happening to the Supreme Court.
You heard the national chair of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia. Let's get some perspective on this. We are joined by former president of the Ghana Bar Association, Sam Okudzeto. Welcome to the Midday News. Now, we just read from the presidency's communication that the Chief Justice informed the president that no prima facie case has been established by the petitions to warrant any further investigations into the removal of the EC, her deputies and the special prosecutor. This must be the rule of law working, isn't it? Unfortunately, we've lost Sam Okudzeto on the line. We'll bring him back once we get him. But let's take you to other stories now. Tomato shortage looms on local markets as traders shun traveling to source commodity from Burkina Faso. Tomato shortage is imminent on Kumasi markets as traders at the racecourse markets fear traveling to neighboring Burkina Faso to import tomatoes. This follows the recent attack and killing of 7 Ghanaians by a jihadist group in that country. The traders say the incident has created panic among them, forcing many to suspend cross-border trips despite their heavy reliance on Burkina Faso for supply. We'll get more from Josephine Sego shortly, but let's return to our earlier story. And the former president of the Ghana Bar Association, Sam Okudzeto, is on the line to us. Welcome to the Midday News.
Thank you.
So we just received the communication from the presidency that the Chief Justice says has informed the president that no prima facie case was established regarding the petitions that were forwarded to him for the removal of the EC, her deputies, and the special prosecutor. This must be the rule of law working.
Definitely, it is the rule of law which is working because that is what the Constitution is. Constitution has given power to the president to forward petitions to the Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice is supposed to determine whether there is a prima facie case or not. Now, nobody else can say that decision other than the Chief Justice. And once the Chief Justice has communicated to the president his view on the matter, the subject is closed.
Prior to that, prior to what we are hearing today, we had heard members of the NDC. We just play the sound of Esiedun Ketia talking about the fact that the EC chair must be removed, citing some concerns. And looking at how the CJ issue, the former CJ's issue, panned out, there were fears that this could be the fate of the EC and even the special prosecutor. What does that say about how we approach such issues from the political angle?
I think the problem in our society is that we have politicized almost everything. And when I use the word politicize, I mean partisan politics. Because sometimes the word is misused. The Constitution has laid down processes and procedures to be followed. Many of them were threatening the Electoral Commission long before the election that they will remove her. Now they have won the election overwhelmingly. What else do they want? They want to bastardize the constitution and the constitutional process. It is not in the interest of this country and in the process of government. They should stop it. Because it means that any time that there is a change of government, of officers who the Constitution has mandated to work on a certain mandate must be thrown out so that people of a political party choice should come into the office. That is not democracy. That is not what the Constitution is meant for. The Constitution is meant for unity in our country. And please, they should stop it.
How do we protect such institutions, the EC, the Special Prosecutor's Office, and even the Chief Justice's Office?
But this is what I'm trying to say, that we all need education on this matter. Because when something happens, we take a partisan stance. And I say it is not in the interest of democracy. We've tried 30 years now to have a constitution. Why did we do that? Because we realized that this frequent movement of government, interference by soldiers and so on, that is not in the interest of the country. It does not make progress. All the country you are seeing on the planet, where there is stability, it means that the institutions are allowed to work. Let us allow our institutions to work. Please, please, I plead.
Thank you very much. Former president of the Ghana Bar Association, Sam Okudzeto. Let's move on to other stories. I earlier told you that tomato shortage looms on local markets as traders are shunning traveling to source commodity from Burkina Faso. We can now hear Josephine Sego, who has this report.
Hope for stable prices. The tomato traders insist they cannot risk their lives. Traders at the racecourse market in Kumasi say until the authorities intervene and provide safety assurances, they cannot resume the trade.
Ibrahim Traore should tell us something because we are greatly disturbed. We are angry. Will he be happy if Ghanaians did the same thing to his people who come here to trade? Mahama should open a dam for us. We won't go to Burkina again.
The traders are already scrambling to find tomatoes locally, a situation they say is triggering price hikes.
Because of what happened, the prices of tomatoes are high and now the borders have been closed. Ghana has the capacity to produce tomatoes locally. In places like Doma, Ahinku, Ayibe, Adam, Navrongo, Bolga, every year our people die. The government should open a dam here for us, else we won't vote.
Frustration is mounting across the country as Ghanaians lash out at government over the deepening tomato crisis, triggered by the killing of 8 Ghanaian tomato traders in Burkina Faso. The attack has not only shaken cross-border traders but reignited debates about Ghana's heavy reliance on imported tomatoes and the challenges facing local production. Farmers, traders and civil society groups are demanding urgent state intervention and better protection for Ghanaians operating beyond the country's borders. On the Super Morning Show today, listeners poured in with angry reactions, questioning government's response and the future of the tomato trade.
So is it that they cannot get us the best seed? Is it that the Burkinabés have done so well that they have gone deeply to make a research and get the best seed for their people to the extent that we travel all the way, take a risk to go and bring these tomatoes? If that is so, then I think it's a dent on our institutions. They should also say, please call the CDSR. Is it that we don't have that breed here? We don't have that seed here? What are they also doing?
All this that we are talking about is leadership failure. River is from the north to the south, through Ghana. We shouldn't be complaining about things like this because leaders are not helping us. They come over and share the money among themselves.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture John Dumelo says government is in active discussions with authorities in Burkina Faso to strengthen security arrangements for Ghanaian tomato traders. He spoke on the Super Morning Show today.
Meeting with my colleague, the Deputy Minister of Interior, and we had a tete-a-tete about it. We are trying to, or he is trying to, or his ministry is in talks with the security personnel in the Burkina Faso side to be able to give some of the tomato traders some form of security to be able to go in and out and trade. Our security jurisdiction ends at the border, and after that, it's taken over by the Ouagadougou officials. And so that's the kind of talks that we are into. And hopefully, in the next couple of days, we would have a clear roadmap as to how we can let these traders go in and out and trade the tomatoes.
You had the Deputy Agric Minister John Dumelo. Let's take you to the headquarters of the Ghana Education Service now, where dozens of teachers have picketed over what they describe as the failure by government to deliver staff IDs, leading to the death of over 14 months of unpaid salaries. My colleague Stephen Mensah joins me on the line with more. Stephen, what more explanation have they been given you?
So the picketing teachers have been telling us that they've been without pay for the past 14 months, and for some it has been quite difficult living. For some, they've traveled all the way from the northeast region to Accra to the GES headquarters, protesting I'd want to say protesting over the standards of living they are currently living with. For some, they are unable to pay their rent, to live or fend for their families. And for some, the travel cost alone is having a toll on how they live in their regions.
Working with that salary up to this time, I don't know how you people are surviving, but me, I'm not surviving. It is hard for me. Please, they should come out and give us time. Maybe by the end of February, we are releasing your staff IDs to you guys. Well, that's what we need. They should just release the staff ID for us. Why should we be working for 14 months from Adenta to every day? Why?
After working 12 to 14 months, Ghanaians, we are not saying that Ghana should dash us in money. All we are asking for is that the work that we have done for 12 to 14 months, what is due us? We are just asking for it. That is all.
Unless they release my staff ID to me. Because I cannot teach without salary. I cannot teach without hunger. Psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially, I'm not stable. So how can I go to class and teach? So what we want now is our staff ID and our salaries. That is what we want.
Stephen, has there been a response from the Ghana Education Service?
Yes. So the Ghana Education Service representatives from the Ghana Education Service have asked for a formal petition to be presented to them before they are worked on, and they'll be giving subsequent announcements or communication as to what will happen to them after investigations are done. However, the NAT has also been speaking, and they've been telling us about the challenges the teachers have been facing. It indicates that they are aware of the situation, but they are liaising with the Ghana Education Service to find a amicable resolution to this.
So the General Secretary, Mr. Thomas Musa, he asked me to come and see them and talk to them. We've given them the assurance as leaders of NAT, we are going to take the matter up, and whatever is due them must be given to them. That is exactly what we are going to do.
But why has there been a delay, given that the teachers tell us 14 months without pay?
Yes.
Why are you not
this thing, I think, started about a year ago.
Yeah, it's exactly
yes,
a year.
and then I remember very well they were asked to submit some particulars to their regions. They did that, and a lot have been paid, I'm aware. But I think we still have some few of them who have still not been paid yet.
We stay on education-related matters, and this time the Ghana Association of University Administrators, GAWA, have expressed concern about the National Labour Commission's use of court processes to end recent strikes by the senior and junior staff unions in public universities. The strikes stemmed from unresolved service conditions and labour grievances. My colleague Hannah Odame is here with some more on this. Hannah, what is the organisation calling for?
Well, the organization is calling for solidarity with the striking unions. They are also saying that suspension of legal actions that disrupt strikes without resolving key issues is not negotiable. They also say review of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's retirement policy, which remains unaddressed, could further lead to unrest. And finally, they are encouraging good faith negotiations for restoring harmony in public universities.
Thank you very much, Hannah Odame. Let's take you to other stories. The minority has turned its rage over government slash of cocoa price on the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kesela Toforsin. The minority leader, Alexander Pengomarkin, is demanding an immediate summons of the finance minister to parliament to answer questions over the decision. The cocoa price cut has sparked intense public debate over the last few days, compelling staff of Cocoa Board to also cut their salaries by 20% and 10% respectively. We'll bring you details of that shortly. But first, listen to the minority leader from the floor of parliament on Tuesday, threatening to employ every legal means to summon Atoforsin after describing the cocoa price cut as illegal.
This is a house of parliament, a platform of the people's representatives. This is where we discuss national issues. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is telling the country that government policy can be announced anywhere, and my finance minister is not obliged to come to the House of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers in Volta region, in Ashanti region, in Bono, in Western North, Mr. Speaker, they have been denying honorable members their earnings. But Mr. Speaker, if the finance minister does not come, if the majority leader will not bring the finance minister, we, the minority, will use the appropriate laws available to us to summon the finance minister.
Thank you.
The cocoa farmers cannot be abandoned. We will not abandon the cocoa farmers.
Honorable members.
You're still listening to the Midday New on Joy 99.7 FM. It's now time for sports. Mubarak is here.
Yes, Gemma, hearts of folk have reported South African club Siwelele FC to FIFA for tapping up their player Hamza Issa. The club said it was alarmed that Siwelele approached Hamza, even though he is still under contract with the Phobians, despite reports that the striker has not been paid for 3 months. Victor Achu Tamaklu has more.
Because it is the first time in the 5-month-old saga that Accra Hearts of Oak have admitted to a strained relationship with Hamza Issa. Indeed, the club says it had held 2 separate meetings with the player and its representatives, ostensibly to iron out the kinks. The club says it had even acted in good faith to address and resolve all outstanding concerns. However, there is still the small matter of the appeal that the player's representative allegedly made to the player status committee. If they sat on the matter and came to the conclusion that Accra Hearts of Oak had violated that contract and they declared the player a free agent, then Siwelele FC of South Africa would be within their rights to speak to the player. Without that, it appears they would have issues to answer to FIFA.
That's Victor Achu Tamaklo with that report. Back to you, Gemma.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, a wave of panic swept through Mamprobi Polyclinic after a baby reportedly went missing under unclear circumstances, leaving the child's parents in distress and health officials scrambling for answers. Police have since arrested the woman suspected to be behind the incident. She's currently assisting with investigations as authorities work to piece together what exactly happened and how the baby was allegedly taken. Let's go to the phone line and speak to my colleague Ramat Bashiru, who was at the community. Ramat, what's the mood in the community and what more can you report? Before we hear from Ramat, so Ramat Bashiru can hear me. Ramat, tell us the mood in the community now.
Hello.
We can hear from the gender minister now.
So this incident that has happened is an unfortunate one. Our appeal to the community members, they shouldn't carry out their threats. They should assess the healthcare here. We are going to all work together to improve security and ensure that they assess quality healthcare here. So I will appeal to them. They should continue coming here. They should continue collaborating with them. And nobody should even attack any health worker because this incident happened. I will appeal to you. We are all working under very stressful situations. I am not making excuses for health workers who are negligent, but I am telling you that when a government sets up an institution to take care of the members, it has good intentions. And so when the staff come there, they are supposed to work without good intention. And in the reset agenda, there's no way we will say that we are relenting on our effort to make sure we serve quality.
So while we work to get my colleague Ramat Bashir on the line to give us updates, my colleague James Aveji joins me in studio with details and updates on this particular story. James, what do we know?
Well, Gemma, what we're learning now is that the suspect who has been alleged to have taken this baby from the hospital has been arrested now. The baby has been taken from her safely and is currently receiving treatment at the Mamprobi Hospital. The suspect is with the police CID as investigations are continuing to unravel the circumstances under which she actually took this baby from the hospital.
Thank you very much, James Aveji. There is a high rate of migration among youth, particularly fishers and crop farmers, to other parts of the country and abroad in search of better opportunities. This trend has been linked to their declining reliance on fishing and farming due to extreme weather conditions, including strong winds, recurrent flooding, erratic rainfall, and rising temperatures. As a result, some individuals become homeless while others relocate to different communities to pursue alternative economic activities. Mohammed Ayaba has more in today's climate evidence.
Survey conducted by Ghana National Canoe Marine. Gemma Appiah in 2016 had canoe frame survey of 948 fishermen. The research indicates that within 6 years, Gemma Appiah has recorded a drop of over 400 fishermen.
Nana Enubaso, the chief fisherman in Gemma Appiah, explains some impact of the climate change effects on their fishing.
The waves have driven the fishes away, therefore forcing the fishermen to migrate to other places. This situation has occurred at many fishing communities. When the waves are aggressive, we are not able to fish.
We find it very difficult to go to the sea. When the waves become aggressive, we try to bring everything under control.
Gemma District NADMO Administrator Mr. Martin speaks on the effects of climate change within the coastal area.
But that has always resulted in the migration of some of the fisher folks to other areas. Some people go to Ivory Coast, travel to other countries when the catch is very, very low in our district and the high temperatures, and some of the trees have been cut by residents for firewood purpose.
According to Mr. Martin, despite having inadequate resources to help fishermen in the area, they provide them some interventions.
There's an intervention from government where they are putting up sea defense wall. That has really reduced the effect of this climate change on the coastal communities when it comes to issues of tidal wave. We had a collaboration with an NGO, Friends of the Nation, where we created a lot of mangroves and introduced new species.
Dr. Victor Owusu, a senior lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba, highlighted some factors that are causing this coastal migration.
Some of the coastal communities, because of the nature of their geography, are more vulnerable to incidences of flooding, incidences of tidal waves induced flooding and erosion. We move from Apam to Azim, Moray. Some of the fisher folk have moved to do or join the illegal small-scale mining.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
It's time to find out what is trending on social media. Hannah Odame is back. Hannah, what's trending?
Guess what? Mamprobi Polyclinic.
Oh.
And according to Adom FM's Twitter page, tension has erupted at the Dansoman police station as a result of that, because the suspects and the police are on a course. They don't understand what's happening there. And then NK LM says this will give negative image to the Mamprobi Polyclinic. They will see a record of reduction in number of patients in the next few months because of this particular incident. And Pinkman says, how does someone walk into a clinic and take a newborn? Serious questions must be asked about the security at Mamprobi Polyclinic. And finally, this one also says that what is happening in Ghana? And that's all on the trends for today.
And that's how we end the midday news. My name is Gemma Appiah.